peeps? I told you I'm back. I'm even back with the results video. We're back to the original. Again, I'm going to be coming back to my format. I'm going to be trying to do videos every single week. Again, keep an eye on me. I'm going to try to get back to the Instagram as well. I'm not saying it's going to be like, this week or next week, but I'm going to try to get back to the Instagram as well. But as far as YouTube is concerned, I'm going to make sure that I get a video out every single week. I'm going to try my best. I'm keeping my word so far. Here we are with the results video. Let's get into it. Wrestlepalooza 2025, the main moments. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. I thought John Cena was going to win, but I was so wrong. As soon as the match started, Lesnar already had Cena down pretty much. A couple of power slams, a couple of German suplexes. And John Cena woke up at one moment and hit a shoulder tackle, but Brock Lesnar stood his ground, and he hit 2 or 3 more shoulder tackles, and then hit an AA, which Lesnar got right back up on his feet after the AA, and then he picked him up again. Another attitude adjustment AA. Lesnar got right back up on his feet again. And then he picked him up for a third AA. And then, of course, it's time for John Cena to put his hand up. You can't see me. As soon as and I even called it. I said he's going to run into those ropes like he did against The Rock at WrestleMania all those years ago. And he's going to get F5'd. He ran right back into the ropes, scooped up by Lesnar, swung mid-air, 2 F5s back to back, and then picked him up again for a third F5, and we already knew it was over after that. We already knew it was over. It's just slow pace now, but we already know it's over because nobody has ever kicked out of 3 F5s in the entire career. So we know it's over. And then he hit like 2 or 3 more F5s, and then just took it really slow, covered John Cena, 1, 2, 3, and of course Brock Lesnar wins. Nobody has ever kicked out of 3 F5s, and in this case it was even more F5s, and then he wasn't done. He picked up the official, swung him over, F5 to the official, and that was pretty much it for that, guys. Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso going up against the Bronsons. Okay, I'm gonna stop making that joke. But seriously though, the Usos going up against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Turns out that LA Knight was made to be the special guest referee on the pre-show. With that being the case, there was a couple of those moments in there of LA Knight allowing things or not allowing things, that he shouldn't, Like when Bronson Reed had the chair in his hand, LA Knight was like, oh, don't use the chair. Then when Jimmy got a hold of the chair, LA Knight was like, cool. And he was able to use it on the back of Bronson Reed. There was some moments like that in there, of course, like most special guest referee matches, which makes it fun. Of course, there was a moment where Jey Uso dived over the top rope and LA Knight had to run out of the way, and he landed on the other guys. And LA Knight, of course, him and Jay had a moment there, and it was like, were you trying to dive onto me? Of course, they had those type of moments in there. There was a moment where Jey Uso almost hit LA Knight with a steel chair accidentally when Braun Breaker dived out of the way. So it was some of those special guest referee moments in there. We were able to see the one and done connected, but Bronson Reed was able to break up the pinfall, so we did not get a 3 count there. In the end of the match, Braun Breaker was able to spear Jimmy and Jey Uso through a table, and a few minutes later, they were able to get the win, and that was pretty much it. And Jey Uso was bleeding too near the end of the match. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for that match. CM Punk and AJ Lee going up against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch is no longer the GOAT after this. Because this was just ridiculous. I mean, I was already kind of like turning against Becky Lynch, but like I officially have. Like, come on, man. Like, this is just ridiculous. What are we doing? This really made me turn on Becky Lynch. Just this whole match, just beating down on everyone and taking cheap shots at Punk during the match. It was just, it's just crazy. And Seth Rollins is no better. I just don't like them anymore, man. I've officially turned against them. The best moment in the match though was near the end when AJ Lee started clearing off the table with that demented look. You know that face. You know this face that I'm talking about, where it's like, okay, it's time to get crazy. She started clearing off the table, and Punk started clearing off his table as well. And Punk was on his side, setting up Seth Rollins for the pedigree. AJ was on her side, setting up Becky Lynch for the manhandle slam. But both Seth and Becky were able to change the trajectory of where that was going. But Punk on his side was able to change the trajectory right back and lifted up Seth Rollins for the GTS. But then Becky Lynch grabbed AJ Lee and actually threw AJ Lee into Punk and Rollins, and everybody got just messed up. A few minutes later, in the ring, Becky grabs AJ Lee, going for the manhandle slam, reversed into the Black Widow. AJ Lee wins after Becky Lynch taps out, and that's pretty much it, man. But it was cool. It was fun. It was fun. The WWE Champion Cody Rhodes going up against Drew McIntyre. In the middle of the match, Drew McIntyre took the turnbuckle off of the corner, and of course he tried to ram Cody Rhodes into it. And as he did, the referee got scared he was going to get squashed in between the turnbuckle, I guess. And he jumped out of the ring, as you see right here with this arrow. He jumped right out of the ring, and then Drew was able to get a roll up, but was not able to get the win because the referee didn't slide back in the ring until like a second before Cody was kicking out of the roll up. So Drew's probably going to have something to say about that. He's probably going to say, oh, the referee was being unfair, whatever. A few minutes later, Drew ended up running into the turnbuckle himself, and Cody was able to hit a crossroads, but it was not enough to keep Drew McIntyre down. A few minutes later, Cody ran up for a Cody Cutter. Drew McIntyre caught him midair and slammed him down in the middle of his own Cody Cutter, and then it was time for this drop kick through the TV. They love doing this. He ran back. The referee didn't want him to do it. He ran back, jumped through Cody, rolled right out of the way as he drop kicked the TV. He went right through the TV right by himself. Drew McIntyre was in pain. Cody Rhodes, a few minutes later, was able to hit a crossroads and get the 1-2-3 on Drew McIntyre and retain the title. Well, guys, that's it for Wrestlepalooza 2025. The best moments. Peace out, peeps.